Darren?
Surprised to see me?
Yeah?
It's the big guy. It's the big guy.
Cassie? I almost didn't recognize you.
How are you not dead?
I became the ultimate weapon.
That's what this is?
That one didn't age quite so well.
Hey, howdy, hey, awesome people of the internet, Wolfman4 and Dash here, and today we're going to do another versus where I'm going to talk about the thing that I guess is quite relevant to how films are being seen today, particularly those that have a lot of CGI to them, which is CGI versus real props, which ages better. So, off the bat, I'm going to say straight up that I think real props, a film that uses real props ages much better because they are real, they are there, it's not imaginary or anything, they are actually genuinely there, whereas CGI, it's something that's not there, or is there, but it's used in a way so that the actors can sort of pretend that it's there, and yeah, it's not, sometimes not always that convincing. But I guess I should go over a few examples of what I think is good CGI and all that stuff, so yeah. So CGI stands for computer generated imagery, and it's pretty much self-explanatory. It's people creating these 3D models or images that they use in their films, sometimes to show off a mythical beast or something, or just a backdrop for a scene that's otherwise shot on a green screen room, and various other things as well. Some people use CGI sort of very minimally, only to really sort of portray the scene as they want it to, as the directors want it to be portrayed, whereas others will go a bit overboard and go over the top to use it, and because of the people that they hire to use it, it does make a lot of films, particularly I'm going to think of an example, the Star Wars prequels, it makes them very, very dated. I mean, George Lucas is a great filmmaker. I'll never fault him. He's not the best of directors, in my honest opinion. But when it comes to CGI, his films definitely look aged, and they've not aged really all that well. But the same can be said for some films that are fully CGI, like a lot of the early films since Toy Story. Now, obviously, Toy Story it's gonna look the way it is because it was the very first fully CGI film, so you have to give it the benefit of a doubt that that is the way it is because that's how technology was at the time. But saying that, ugly models for certain things aside, the film has aged okay overall, I feel. And then you got these other animation companies like DreamWorks who very quickly managed to establish the quality of the films that they wanted. Really, I think thanks to Shrek, which was basically the first fully CGI film they made that was at the quality that they wanted. Before that, there was Ants, but Ants wasn't really the quality that they wanted, whereas Shrek was the one that they wanted, and they've been using that ever since, albeit inconsistently because they do lots of films with different models and everything. So yeah. And then there's mainstream Disney. Now, obviously, mainstream Disney did do traditionally animated films for many years and did start using 3D models during their time where Pixar was in a deal with them and yada yada yada. Things happened. So they made films, and eventually they did try to do their first fully CGI film without involvement from Pixar. Yeah, we all know how that played out, but they soon quickly established their style, and now the films that they've made have been of a decent quality. Not always perfect, but they are of a decent quality. Saying that because of what happened with their 100 years, which we'll talk about that. Then there's Warner Brothers, who do traditional animation for many years, and they've obviously done CGI in lots of things, not necessarily fully CGI films. They've done CGI for all sorts of films, with I guess the Harry Potter films and the Middle Earth films probably being the best examples of when live action and CGI have actually worked well and has aged pretty well, all things considered, compared to the likes of, say, the Mummy series, where the CGI, it has not aged well at all. I'll give the Looney Tune films that are live action hybrids the benefit of the doubt, because they're basically meant to be cartoons. So obviously CGI was obviously not going to be great, because they wanted to portray them as their cartoon selves, and they did reasonably well in all attempts. They're not perfect, those films, but at least they did try to replicate the characters really well. So yeah. Just trying to think of other studios. Illumination, they pretty much perfected their style quite early on with Despicable Me, basically, because Illumination is a company that don't really do in-house animation. It kind of sources out to other companies, because it's the CEO's attempt to basically make quality entertainment but reduce the costs that lots of different studios use on their films, because they often make these very expensively made films only to then realise that they aren't actually going to be all that well received. So yeah. There's lots of great examples of CGI, and there's also lots of great examples of real props and real prosthetics and everything. I can definitely say motion capture is definitely a good thing to use, because motion capture obviously is when an actor has this sort of green suit, I'm going to say, on them, and during post-production the editors and people responsible for the CGI stuff can put stuff on them and everything to make them look like they are CGI, but it's actually really good CGI and very convincing CGI, which is why films like the Pirates of the Caribbean films, the Middle Earth films, and even the recent Planet of the Apes films portray these characters in a way that's realistic, good, and will age as it should, as they age gracefully, you know. So yeah. I think overall I do prefer real props over CGI, because real props age better out of the two. CGI can age good as well, but it has to be at a certain quality for it to be able to age really well. Like, you can't exactly get away with cheap CGI, and you can't, not nowadays, because people will pick it up on that. You know, Marvel, take notes, and all this other stuff as well. So yeah. Overall, I think real props is the one that will age better, but CGI can be used well as long as it's of a quality that is both appealing and will make sure they age gracefully, not poorly like other things. So yeah, definitely check your budget when you're making films, and definitely make sure that when you're making films, don't basically cut costs or anything. Do try and make good quality stuff with the budgets that you have, but don't go over budget, like Disney especially, who basically spent all of their films in their 100th year sort of being way over budget. So yeah. And that's all I'm going to say on that, because I've got a bunged up nose at the moment, and I don't want to say too anymore before struggling to breathe and all that. So I'm going to stop there and say thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe if you want to see more of my videos. I upload videos at various times daily in the BST/GMT time zone. So pop culture vlogs like this, plus also hauls, live vlogs, gameplay videos where it's either straight up gameplay, no commentary, but sometimes with memes, or let's plays where there is commentary, camera on, challenges, everything, yada yada yada. And I also do shorts on celebrity birthdays and anniversaries of things that I like. So yep. And if you liked the video, hit the like button. If you want to leave a comment, do so. If you want to share with your pals, do so. See you in the next one. Peace to you all. And whatever you do, do not look silly when trying to convince people that you're actually seeing a character which actually isn't there when you're filming, but is actually put in when it's in post-production. Unless it's motion capture, in which case, yeah, you do what you want. So yeah, all right, doodles.
From the screen to the ring, to the pen, to the king. Where's my crown? That's my bling. Always drama when I ring.